1973, Scottsdale, Arizona, Aquanetta. Thank you for humoring me by coming so early. It's actually late for me. I'm always up before dawn to catch the dark dissolving into morning light. Light. That's the first thing you must learn, my dear, to find your light. You alone are in control of how you are seen. I had this room specially built. Like it. It's all mine. No one else, oh, other than the housekeepers, of course, steps across that threshold. A lady's boudoir is no place for a man. I've been married 20 years, and I can proudly say my husband has never seen me without my makeup and my hair done. Why would any woman ever want to be seen at less than her best? Of course, we have a, shall I say, playroom, but this is mine. Don't you love this vanity? Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's from the set of The Barefoot Contessa, built especially for Ava Gardner, but now it's mine. I had it repainted in my signature turquoise. Don't you love the lacquer? And the mirror. It has a special coloring, gives the skin a little extra sun-kissed glow. But you must remember to install the same light bulbs throughout the house. Oh, how I love sitting here between the three sides, and I wheel this one over behind me. Nothing escapes me. Look, stand right here. Yes, now watch this. The same face, but all different. Don't ever let any photographer tell you which way to turn. You turn the way you look your best. You know what women say when they see me coming? Uh-oh, here comes trouble. But a woman must always have an air of mystery, a degree of frisson. Wonderful word, isn't it? Maybe what you see isn't what you get. And maybe you know it, but you want it anyway. Oh dear, telling you all my secrets, aren't I? (1948), Norristown, Pennsylvania, Mama D. Well, nope. That William Davenport, he never done come back. I ain't never heard nothing more, not since the night he left out of here. But I done put that out of my mind. Ain't no sense crying over spilt milk. I got me 7 chillins, and they all look out for me. Well, I guess I can't hardly call them chillins no more, since they all done grown and gone, even the baby. But hope I gets along. I still works, but mainly just because I likes to stay useful. But they look out for me, help with the rent, buy my food, fix things up. And Mildred, my girl, a star in Hollywood. I know you've seen her spread 4 pages in Look magazine, that back in 42. But look up, see that pile of albums over there? Yeah, the white and gold one by the window. You bring the top 2 there and that one there. Now, look here, look at this. This when she was first up there in New York City, 15 years old. Now watch. She looked like my girl here. Now watch. See the change? The lips, the makeup, the hair, those glamour dresses. See how they change? And attitude? Well, she always had plenty of that. But right there, before your eyes, you see it. She put on spit and polish. Look at here. This when she was the top model at the top agency, New York, making hundreds of dollars a day. And you see this, every single photograph to Mama D will love Aquanetta. Aquanetta. Don't know where she pulled out that name, but suit her. She always were one of a kind. Made herself up. And put that one down. You finish that one, I'm done talking. But look here, this one, Hollywood. This here, her first picture, Arabian Nights. She was only 21. She was supposed to be an extra, but they wrote some words just for her. See these clippings? They couldn't get enough of my girl. Then, look here. She ape woman in Captive Wild Woman. See her name on top. That's the star and top billing. And this one, see that white man? He Johnny Weissmuller, that Olympic swimming star. All her pictures just like that, running, starring right next to white man's. And here, she the high priestess of a leopard cult. Read this here, read this here. The most beautiful eruption ever to adorn a jungle scene. They say before Aquanetta, jungle films were just movie matinees for children. But now, that be what everybody want to see. Oh, my four girls is beautiful. Mildred, just the onlyest one make that her calling card from Jump Street. She exotic, that for sure. Even before Hollywood put all them leopard skins on her. Winifred and Kate, well, they just look like pretty white girls. You don't know no better. Sure enough, that be what some of the boys like. Carolyn, she a dark chocolate stunner for sure. For a while, the boys all be lined up from the stoop down around the block, all duded up, all trying to get a piece of one of the Davenport sisters. I like to beat them all off with my switch, but they needs husbands, so as long as their intentions honorable, well, that they brother's job. Run off them scallywags and no counts. My Mildred. She walk in any room, everything stop. You hear a pin drop or sometime a chair fall. Take some fool man down with it. All eyes be on her. I don't know where that come from. Seem like one day she a little girl, next day she a showstopper. Anybody she want, she got them wrap around her little finger. Them and a whole bunch she don't want nothing to do with neither. But she sweet and she generous. You see this bracelet? And you see that bracelet? Yep, she done sent it to me from Hollywood. Yes, she did. Sent me pearl earrings, pearl necklace, silk scarves. One time, she sent a rhinestone purse. Now, what am I gonna do with no rhinestone purse except to look at it? See the sparkles? Think of my sparkling girl. Don't matter. What matter is she thinking of me? No matter where she go, what she do, what she call herself, she always take care of her mama. Well, the first time she take a cross-country train, some Indians come on sell their jewelry, and she send me a turquoise bracelet and earrings and a ring. Tell me that make me an honorary Indian. Like I need that. I got Indian in me anyhow. So I don't care what nobody say. My girl, she making something big of herself. And all those laws and rules and fences they done put up to keep us Negroes from getting anything or getting anywhere. Well, Mildred just opened the gate and walked right through, and ain't nobody stopping her. Hey, they holding it open for her. So that William, best part of him is my chillins, and they all mines for keeps. The chillins all doing fine, and they all helping their mama. I can't think of nothing more I want. Now you go on looking till you get your eyes full. I got plenty more albums where those come from. Now I'm gonna get us some sweet honey iced tea with mint. You want sassafras or regular? 1973, Scottsdale, Arizona, Aquanetta. The secrets. I've already broken my first taboo, so come, see my closet. Specially built, of course. When I drew the plans, the contractor said, "This is so big, it has to be another bedroom." Does every man think like Thomas Jefferson? Just hide a bedroom off your bedroom for your paramour, and no one will be the wiser. Oh, men, men, men. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Believe me, I know. You heard what? I don't know why people write the things they do about me, but never mind. I'll share another secret. You must be your own best creation. You're a writer. Make sure the script you write for yourself is your masterpiece. Oh, speaking of masterpieces, I'm working on a book of poetry now. Want to hear my favorite? Silly me, of course you do. I'll share. Pre-publication. Our secret. The puppet. Come, dance with me once more. Make merry. Drink the wine. Cast off your cares. Kiss my lips. Hold me close. Look deep into my eyes, since my heart you cannot see. Cold, you say? My lips are cold? 'Tis all a farce. Pretend then, since I am just a doll, your puppet. My words are yours, my voice disguised. I move at your command. When you are tired, put me down, but be gentle. You might want to pick me up and breathe life into me once again. Fun, isn't it? When you're a beautiful woman, that is your life. (1948), Trenton, New Jersey, Carolyn. You came here to ask about Aquanetta. I am the first executive secretary of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in Philadelphia, the city of its founding, on the front line of the struggle for us to be recognized as people, and you come here to ask about Aquanetta? Well, yes, she made something of herself. We all have, which is a minor miracle, considering we were only kids when our father disappeared. I was a senior in high school, not 18. Oldest girl, second born. The baby was 10. Mildred wasn't 15. Mama D never finished 8th grade, but Mr. College dropout ups and leaves. Yet times were tough, and life was hell for Negroes. But if life is tough for a Negro man who can pass for white, what do you think it's like for 7 fatherless Negro children? 7 children in 7 years, thanks to him. In the height of the Depression, he walked out without so much as a goodbye. I'm going for cigarettes. Right. And left Mama D thinking he'd walk right back in any moment. But I knew. I knew who he was, and I knew exactly what he had done, and I will never forgive him, leaving me to clean up his mess. Nope. Not for that, and not for all the rest. You know the first time he left? Right after I was born. Took one look at 10-minute-old me and said, That one's too black to be kin to me. Yeah. Now, he came back all right, but he repeated that to anyone in earshot right up until the day he died. They left. Now, you tell me, how much hate do you need to look in the face of your child, of your wife, day after day, year after year, and swear to the world that child isn't yours because she's got some color? Oh, don't get me started. His leaving was simply the final indignity, his coup de grace. But I wasn't going to let him win. Scrimp, save, scrabble, whatever it took, I did to keep that roof over our heads, keep us fed, and the little ones in school long enough to have some options. But what options were there for Negro teenagers in the 30s? There was nothing for grown men. Jobs were so scarce, they fired every single Negro and gave all those jobs to white men. So what was left for us? Clean house, cook, shine shoes. However you slice or dice it, the only work came down to waiting on white folks or cleaning up their messes. So, Aquanetta again. You're only interested in Aquanetta, the glamour puss. Well, she spent enough days the way we all did, on our hands and knees scrubbing floors in Norristown, and she was having no more of it. She could have taken a beau, of course. The boys were all oogling her. But what could a young Negro with no job offer her but a dead-end life of hard work? She was dead set on being somebody and didn't care what it took to get herself there. The world thinks they know all they need to know about you with one glance. And if that glance says Negro, they look no further. Hell, won't even call you miss, even if that's your first name. They have closed the lid on us, made a big pressure cooker, and left us to stew in our own juices. And every once in a while, just every once in a while, they let up on that valve or turn down the heat a little. But we're all still sweltering. And if somehow you manage to adjust and thrive anyway, they turn up the heat some more, set us one against another and dare us to survive. South Carolina, where we were born, the one good thing William Davenport did was move us up north. You know what they call an ambitious Negro? An educated Negro? Dead. But Aquanetta wasn't going to fight that game. She always thought she was special, singular. And why wouldn't she? Ever since she was little, her looks were her golden ticket, the golden child, like father, like daughter. Venezuelan volcano, itinerant, orphan, Arapaho Indian, no one cares as long as she says anything but Negro, and they can't get enough of her. She only gets away with it because of how she looks, but she's no more responsible for that than any of us are. We all come the way we do. 7 children. Who would think only one would look Negro? Do you think I'd have been chosen to be born into my father's family, brown as I am? No, I would not. You know, he was the foreman on an all-white construction crew, took all the others to the job sites, left me home. But don't get me wrong. I don't want to change or be any color other than what I am. I am not ashamed, but I am angry. Angry the way the poison of racism seeped into my life, right into my own family, a father who denied brown me. Yes, I am angry as hell, and I have every right to be. So yeah, I've told you all this, but if someone white asks, now, isn't Aquanetta your sister? So she's a Negro too, right? They'll never get one word out of me. Not one word. Not out of anyone in this family, not out of anyone who ever knew her. Our lips are sealed. And if you publish any of this, I'll deny every word and make a liar out of you. White people do a damn good enough job crushing us without us helping them, and you know that. She got over. Good for her. And if she can manage the charade, ain't nobody's business but hers if she do. She's not hurting a soul if you don't count her own. But this Jim Crow, it's wrong. Bone breaking, soul crushing, wrong. Makes it so hard to scrap out a life that a lot of folks put being Negro in the rear view mirror. But change is a-coming. Not that anyone who crossed over will be crossing back. But we Negroes, we will have our day. Look, 1948 and Truman just integrated the armed forces. The armed forces, gun-carrying men, shoulder to shoulder, white and Negro. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to keep spending this Negro lifetime of mine fighting for justice, righting the wrongs keeping us down, making it so we can live with our hats on our heads, not in our hands. Aquanetta, 1973, Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll tell you a story. One afternoon, I was sitting on a rock in the backyard, soaking up the sun. You know that maiden on the rock? I was posing like that. Maybe I was 10, maybe 12. There was a green picket fence separating our yard from the neighbors. And along comes this bright green little creature, a little reptilian thing, lizard, chameleon, whatever you call it. And there were a bunch of flies buzzing around the Concord grapes, sweet with bursting purple skins littering the ground. Well, the lizard hops to a rock. Now for a moment, I can't see it. Then I see a flash of pink. And darn, if it isn't the tongue of that lizard, and he has caught a fly. And now I see he's the color of that rock, not green anymore. Now you tell me, is he the same creature? I'll tell you, yes, he is, except now he has a full belly. What's that tell you? Told me, get off that fence onto your rock and take on the world. When you've been the best looking gal in your family, in your school, and in your town, well, the world is yours for the taking. In the family, did I say in the family? Well, I didn't mean that literally. I have no family. You know that. Well, none other than the one I've made with my husband, Jack Ross. Jack and our 4 beautiful blonde boys.
Hey. Yay.
If I fall, I will plummet 160 feet to the ground and no one will know because the storm is raging and everyone down there is tucked away into their tents. The rain is thundering down on my tarp roof, and I'm trying to fix the leaks, leaping over buckets and piles of gear in wet bags to get to the next spot. God, I just don't want my sleeping bag to get wet, but I'm handling it. I'm alone, way up in this giant Douglas fir. Just me and the tree and a wooden platform and the storm, and I have a huge grin on my face. I'm alive. It's me and nature. It's me and this tree, and we're working together, and I will stay safe and dry no matter how much MacGyvering I have to do. The view makes my heart soar. I'm honored to behold it. Through a break in the swirling green canopy are all the colors of a Washington storm: gunmetal, silver, blue, and lightning. I see it now, zagging across the distance, and in a few moments, boom, the thunder. It's getting nearer, and my heart is pounding. I can't stop grinning. I'm ready. Battening down, night is coming, and I'm snug up here in a tree that's been standing and bending with hundreds and hundreds of years of storms. Hey, Homestead! Hey, Nuthatch! It's Turk calling from the other platform a few trees away. We have to yell through the hammering rain. How's it going, Sapphire? Great! How are you doing? Moving a lot down here. His platform, which we call Nuthatch, is not nestled into a tree like mine. It's suspended between 4 trees so that it hangs in midair. I can't see it through the branches, but it's a lot lower than mine, maybe at 100 feet. I can picture it swinging, though. I'm glad I'm in Homestead. Be safe! You too! Have a good night! I do have a good night. The leaks are gone where it matters, and I'm nestled into my sleeping bag with the rain on surround sound, every branch a wild thing, and the firework blasts of lightning, and the thunder so close and so deep that it feels as though it's rumbling through the entire trunk of the tree and from there into my body, and I understand that I matter. It's the previous summer. I'm sitting on a stump at the edge of an old clear cut crying. Why are you so out of place? Why can't you just get with the program like a normal person instead of going off by yourself to cry? You're almost 30 years old, for crying out loud. When are you going to get over it? You idiot. Why did you think it would unfold any differently than the last time you tried to blend with strangers in a group situation? And now you're in the middle of a national forest in Washington with these people, hours from nowhere. Something catches my eye. Across the clear cut, something big and brown is moving. Is it a bear? I jump to my feet. What do? I look around me, no one else here. It doesn't see me. A thrill of adrenaline rushes through me. I'm seeing a bear live in the wild. I sit, I stand, I sit, I watch until the bear ambles off into the woods, and I'm left with that special feeling you get when something has happened just for you, or at least we've decided it happens just for us. I'm sad, therefore I get a bear. Not all the others down the road, just me. But if you see a bear in the woods and you're too shy to tell anyone about it, did it really happen? I'm at my first Earth First action camp. I'm learning nonviolent communication by a white man with dreads. I'm learning to climb trees with ropes and harness. I'm learning about how the Forest Service sells off giant swaths of old growth forest, actually public land, to private companies to clear cut. I'm also experiencing a crash course in the unwritten bylaws of the grassroots radical activist: idealism, ferocity, intelligence, naivete, dumpster diving, nutritional yeast, and showers optional. But I panic and I hike alone up the road away from the others. They're bustling about camp in various formations, prepping food, timber sales, playing guitar, and mostly laughing and getting to know each other, and I am not one of them. In fact, I'm only here at Earth First Camp because a writing class friend wanted to check it out and he invited me along, probably because I have a car. I have no idea what I'm in for, but I have a wee crush on him, so I'm easily swayed. But from the moment we arrive, I am struck down by the worst, the very worst of my crippling shyness. I lose my voice. I don't know where to go, how to be. So I wander off to ease the pressure of being alone in a group, because it's easier to be alone by myself, to feel like I'm hurtling back in time to kindergarten. I have just turned 5 and it's the first day of school. My sister heads off to her 2nd grade classroom with her Sleeping Beauty lunchbox swinging, and I am alone with the commotion and the noise swirling around me. I don't know where to look, it's coming at me, and I slide down into myself, and this is my first week. The other kids are curious. Why is she sitting like that? Well, why won't she play? What's wrong with her? I just have to keep safe and calm in here. To get my bearings, I have to go away. I hear from a distance, more than the other children, heartbeat from the inside. Dum, 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 dum. The bear has gone. I'm heading back down the road to camp, bursting with my adventure. But I find everyone is scattered about, engaged in their own pursuits, and no one notices me. No one seeks my eye, and I can't open my mouth. I can't approach anyone, and the spring in my step dies. My heart deflates. The longer I wait, the stupider I feel. And so I don't tell anyone about the bear. Fucking idiot. Oh, what is wrong with you? Stupid, stupid girl. I want to tear my own face off. How can you not tell anyone about the bear? There's a bear. I linger at the edge of the workshops. I don't eat much of the communal food and slip away to my secret stash in the tent. Trail mix, cheese and crackers. I really need to pee now, so I creep away to the woods instead of going to the camp trench, because what if I run into someone there? What if the only time someone notices me this whole weekend is when I'm squatting in a place called the shitter with my butt exposed? Finally, thank God, it's night. I can sit here in anonymity by the campfire where most eyes are drawn to the flames and someone is passing dumpster-dived chocolate. I'm just one figure among many, observing the shadowy faces and voices across the fire. Across from me, Ivan. Hey, I heard wolves found their way back into the GIF. He means the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest where we are. I can hardly see his face, but I instantly love his soft voice. Over here is Spiral. Anyone know what's going on at the Fall Creek tree sit? She is a self-described freegan lowbagger. Freegan meaning a preference for eating vegan, but exceptions made when it's free, and lowbagger meaning someone who gets by on as little as possible, possibly on your couch. Sarah is saying, everyone should come and support the banner hanging action for the steelworkers in Tacoma. I think I know her type, the overachieving college student perfectionist who pushes herself too hard. When Kim speaks, she draws attention. Yeah, it turns out he was infiltrating the group from the FBI and she was totally in love with him. Apparently she's been an activist for a long time already and she's still just 26. She is fierce on the surface, but I'm sensing jelly underneath. Will has a sweet full beard at 19. He still wears his overalls without a shirt, even though it's gotten chilly. And there are the Jens, one spunky and extroverted, one with a soft southern drawl and easy laugh. Leon, tall and long-haired and kind, a bit handsome under his glasses. These people are crusty earth firsters, idealist, evergreen college students, and a few career environmentalists with cleaner hair. I am none of these, yet I grew up more like this than probably any of them. Dad buys land in the early 70s for next to nothing. Before building our house, we spend the first summer outside. There is the old army tent, and here my sister and I have a bedroom made out of corrugated metal and sheets. Our bathroom is barely an outhouse, a pit dug at the edge of the ravine. We are barefoot and dirty, and raised to respect nature, to work with it rather than just use it. We learn to stack firewood as Dad cuts it from fallen trees. All right, stack it tidily, in rows, even like this. Dad, it's too prickly. The sawdust gets everywhere. Well, use my gloves. Too big. We weed and water the garden. We feed chickens and goats. We walk up the road to the windmill to check the water levels on the well. Dad pushes on the clear plastic tubing. All right, see, when the water gets to here, that means there's enough, but if it's all the way down here, we're going to need to turn the pump on. When we go out to cut a little fir tree for Christmas, we pause and acknowledge what we're doing. All right, now let's close our eyes and thank the tree. Why, Dad? Well, because it's growing here and we're taking it away. It deserves our respect. Thank you, tree. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A big day is going to town. A century earlier, we'd be hitching the wagon to go the 2 miles. Town is a village, really. A one-stop sign, though there are 3 Italian restaurants. We might go to the post office and I might get to use the key by myself. Box 38. My sister and I might get popsicles, artificially colored juices dripping down our summer-browned arms. We might go to Fiore's and Dad will have a beer with his friends and we will get Shirley Temples and quarters for Pong, which is about the right speed for us country mice. Pong, Pong, Pong. And then we ride back up the hill in the old beat-up army gray truck back to our half-finished house. And we go to bed listening to the wind in the trees and the night sounds. Woohoo! Woohoo! Flap, 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 flap. And the muffled but soothing voices of adults in another room. These people here at Earth First Camp are in many ways my people, so why is this so fucking hard? I want to go home. Bedroom apartment on Capitol Hill in Seattle, and my work as a freelance photo stylist for the Eddie Bauer catalog. Yes, I am a nature girl at my core, but for a few years now, I've been preoccupied with making things look pretty for photography. Stacking sweaters, just so. Painstakingly creating folds in shirts so that they look effortlessly casual. Although my photographer boyfriend and I broke up and he moved out, we are pals and still work together. We are quiet and creative, and we wear clean clothes. We've never dumpster dived. Introduction to Earth First is like it's been turned on underneath me, and I'm beginning to simmer. Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm also connecting with people. Because I start participating in meetings and banner making and protests, and I start to become part of something, an us. So I dig in and up my game. I clamp a bike lock around my neck, and I'm part of a lockdown team in a timber company's office. I learn about shoplifting for the cause and dumpster diving because good stuff is thrown away. And I also learn what 420 means. My new friend Patrick sidles up to me. Hey, you want a 420? What? You want a 420? What? You want a 420? Sorry, I don't know what that means. You want to get high? Oh, no thanks. The first thing I shoplift is a $200 pair of boots at REI. My two friends and I stop, and I'm relieved because I blend better alone. I wander slowly through the store, shopping, holding clothing up to assess it, draping it over my arm. I am calm, just another Seattle girl looking for gear. I pore over the wall of shoes. I don't even have to ask anyone to pull a pair because they're all right here, stacked on tables. I go through them and I find size 9. Well, guess I'll just go try all this stuff on. In the dressing room, I drop everything and I unzip my backpack as quietly as I can. In goes. I feel my heart thumping, but I'm not scared exactly. It's like I'm out of my body, watching. Are you really doing this? Yeah, guess I am. On some clothes to pass a little time, and then back out on the floor, I return the boot box to the stack on the table. Feel very clever, rearranging the boxes so that the empty isn't on top. Yep, just looking for my size here, and shucks, they don't have them. Oh well. I meander away to return my clothes to the rack. Shame nothing fits. I feel strangely confident. I think I might be good at this. There is no reason for anyone to suspect me. I am used to keeping all expression on the inside and presenting a blank slate to the outside because this is how I have moved through the world without attention. This is so easy. Dang, I am good at it. And it's for the cause. Now I really am a part of it.
Yay. Yay.
I'm on the train coming back to Portland from British Columbia. The seat's assigned. I've chosen one next to the window so I can lean and dream and stare, letting the world go by. Book in my lap, tea in the cup holder. Ahead, hours of rocking rhythm carrying me home. A young Asian woman sits down next to me. Hi. Hi. Those first awkward moments, will we talk? Will we ignore each other? Will there be polite, uncomfortable conversation for a few moments? Then the tension that settles, aware something else should possibly be happening. I have traveled. I know the many nuanced discomforts of seatmates. We both stare out the window as the train pulls out, traversing the hidden industry train yard's border. The pools of polluted water that slip into once pristine streams, home to beaver, raccoon, white-tailed deer, coyote. I watch as a great blue heron casually glides the air, landing on the top branch of a barren tree, the hypnotic click-a-clack lulling us gently. Beautiful, huh? Yeah, I guess. Why are you going to Oregon? I'm going to see a friend, kind of like a boyfriend. One of those? Yeah, I'm hoping, but I just don't know. We have a long weekend off from classes for Victoria Day. How long have you been dating? No, we're not really dating. My generation doesn't really do that. We kind of like hang out. I've known him for a couple of years. We're just kind of starting to see what else could be possible. Sounds exciting? Yeah, I think I'm more into him than he is to me. But he invited you for the weekend. Yeah, we'll have to see. He lives in this like studio apartment, so it could get kind of weird. Or sweet. Well, there's that too. I think I'm kind of ready for something more than just, a guy. I don't want to be like pressuring him. Yeah, you have to figure out how to play your cards and be in the flow of yourself. Can you talk to him about it? I don't know, maybe. Do you think I should? Can't hurt. Or it could, all that feeling stuff. Well, I'm rooting for you. And men are tricky. Thanks. Are you married? Divorce. That was really a good thing. A relief, actually. I'm glad we're not together again. We're not even in touch anymore. Boyfriend? Not really. It gets harder as you get older. Men. Yeah, men. So, how's life in Canada? Oh, pretty good. I've been here all my life. My parents came over in the early 90s. British Columbia is full of Asian people now. I know. I had one of the best Chinese dinners of my life at a little place next to the hotel last night. Yeah, there's lots of good restaurants. Your family Chinese? My mom was Chinese and my dad's like from Laos. Was? Oh, yeah, she died when I was like 3. And then my father married this Caucasian woman. Sorry, was that hard for you? No, she's okay. We're kind of like the Brady Bunch, his kids, her kids, their kids. It's a lot. And my father didn't want us to lose the Chinese bit. Yeah, one culture is more than enough sometimes. I know, and everyone wants to know, like, what are you? Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino? They can't read my features. Like that even matters. Where are you from? Toronto originally, but my grandparents were from Eastern Europe, Jewish. Not that any of us really practiced. It's been more a cultural thing, food and history and humor, neuroses. They all came over when they were kids. And you live in Oregon now? Yeah. I miss Canada, though. I think about moving back sometimes. You could. It gets harder as you get older. You're not old. Thanks. I am when I'm not. Does it feel like the train's slowing down to you? Yeah, they need to check passports and stuff. The train comes to a whiny, jolted stop in a wooded middle of nowhere. And out of nowhere, a young man in uniform gets on. He starts methodically down the aisle. He's cute. Yeah, kind of like Justin Bieber. You like him? Oh, he's okay. People think it's weird, but I'm more into 60s music. Really? Yeah, my parents had the records and they played them a lot when I was a kid. I also like, Ella Fitzgerald and Mel Torme. Passports. Oh, hi. Yeah, how are you? Fine. Documents. I rifle through my bag. My new friend's already produced hers. Here you go. Where are you going? Eugene. Reason? To visit a friend. A boyfriend? Yeah, kinda. How long have you known him? What? I can feel the air thickening, can hear my blood rushing my head, my hands starting to tremble. I take him in, tall, blonde, a specimen with movie star good looks, a soft face, still mostly unshaven. He could be right out of a movie, Victorian elegance with the riding crop, SS a la Sophie's Choice. The uniform makes the man, and he's almost there, perhaps early 20s, taking his role so seriously. We're just like friends. How long? Sorry, what? How long what? How long have you known him? A couple of years, I guess. I don't know why. I'll ask the questions. The world is now moving in a surreal slow motion, every molecule poised, focusing in. My heart is pounding and my throat is dry. I know not dare reach for a sip of tea. I know not even to look, though I want to stare him down and raise my voice. I feel her shoulder nudge into mine, recoiling. I gently lean in, a subtle, I'm here for you. My breathing shallow and strained, my chest constricting. What are you going to do when you're there? Visit? Like go out for dinner? Do you sleep with him? I have a moment of seizing. The blood of my ancestors echoing the trauma of trains. I have seen this movie 100 times before, the mind beginning its chaotic montage of possibilities. Border crossings and checkpoints, interrogation rooms and jail cells, people being dragged away, detained, no phone call, no one in the world even knowing where they are or how they are. The haunted stories of the disappeared in Chile, Sri Lanka, Syria, Zimbabwe. I know not even to breathe, my eyes down. Don't rock the boat, girlfriend. Stay cool. I feel the warmth of her shaking where her arm is touching mine. Who knows what could happen if I dared the unthinkable and met his eye? He's just a boy, really. Young enough to be my son, old enough to be her brother. We're just like friends. Right. Do you have any drugs on you? No. Then why are you shaking? You're like scaring me. You're scaring her. And who are you? Good afternoon, sir. Going back to Portland, I was in Vancouver for a conference at the university. You two know each other? Yes, we do. You're Canadian, but you live in the States. Yes, sir. How long? Sorry, how long what? How long have you lived here? Most of my life. Why? I'll ask the questions. No, why? I showed you my green card. I'm legal, always have been. His jaw begins to pulsate as his breathing quickens, and I feel the blood rush to my face, like I'm taunting, talking back to my father, how he might give me the back of his hand, impertinent, surly, rude, daring to question the great and powerful. Why have you been living in this country so long and not become a citizen? Because of people like you, I want to shout, because of your hostility, because no one is safe in this country, I do not say. And when I cross the border coming back to Canada, people are warm and call me love and welcome me in. The one time it would have made sense. I was in my early 20s and I was there standing at a phone booth talking to my parents, excitedly telling them, I'm moving back to Canada. I've been traveling with a friend. She was going to help me settle and find a job. And my father, on the other end of the line, furious, intimidating, was telling me, no, you idiot. I needed to return. I needed to finish college. I needed to do my life his way. And powerless, defeated, worn down by the dynamic that had me under his thumb all of my life, I dutifully returned to the US. You go through the motions of a life and you get stuck sometimes. And you do what's in front of you, especially when you've been taught over and over again in 100 different ways that what you want doesn't really matter. There's a thick sneer swiped across his face, breathing like an angry bull, steam rising. He stomps his foot, ready to lunge. And I wonder, what happened to this boy? Who beat him down, bullied and berated? What happened that he has chosen this or settled for it, giving up whatever dreams he might have had to wear his SS uniform and strut the halls of tired trains, puffing his chest and preening his power, intimidating young women who, in another era, he might have shyly approached and invited to dance. He's staring down at me now, waiting for my answer. Why have you been living in this country so long and not become a citizen? Circumstance, that's why. He scoffs, gives me a look, slaps a document back into my hand and drops hers in her lap, storming off, satisfied, unsatisfied, his boots echoing the car now, hollow as everything else has stopped to witness this. The air so still, it is as if no one is breathing. We both wait until the doors slam and he's on to the next car to begin to sink back into our bodies. The surreal of the moment finally starting to pass. This always happened to you? Yeah, kinda. I'm so sorry. It's okay, you sort of get used to it. You shouldn't have to get used to it, geez. You must be scared at least a little bit all the time. Yeah, I guess it's like a double whammy, triple actually, young, female, Asian. I either like get ignored or harassed pretty much everywhere. Like teachers don't call on me or forget my name. And the white boys on campus, always hassling Asians. It doesn't matter that you've been in Canada all your life. Like just last week, these 3 boys were taunting me as I was walking to the bus stop after class. There's that chink girl. Hey, Susie Q, me so horny. Want some nice white dick? It was dark and I thought like I was going to be raped or something. Suddenly I saw this guy that I sort of recognized and I ran up to him and put my arm through his like he was my boyfriend and whispered, like, please just walk with me. I'm being followed. I mean, I didn't know. Like maybe it would have been even worse than them, you don't know. Thankfully, I made it home, but yeah, I'm scared all the time. I always thought things in Canada were better. Maybe a little, but still not good. The Native people and the Asians mostly get it. Like, I'm never going to be able to erase this face. And the crazy thing is, I'm hoping for a guy who'll come along and protect me from all the other guys. That's what we've all been taught, generations and forever. The time I was really considering moving back, I've been driving across the prairie with a woman friend. She looked Native. She wasn't, but she looked it. Not that it matters. She had similar features, darker skin and long dark hair. She wore this cowboy hat. It was like her signature piece. She wouldn't take it off, even though it really attracted the wrong kind of attention. Her car was older and a little beat up, and we were pulled over, I don't know, maybe 3 times in the middle of nowhere for nothing. The car searched, us questioned. She told me several times, like going into a busy restaurant and being told they were closed. I'd romanticized Canada and thought it was different. There's racism everywhere. Racism, sexism, every fucking ism. At least I can hide being Jewish. You're lucky for that. Yeah, I guess. Still, I'd be Jewish enough for Hitler. Say, do you drink? Yeah, a little sometimes. You want to go get a beer? My treat. Sure. Yeah. Let's go get a drink.
Hey. Hey.
I do love to meet young dancers and see where they're going. I sometimes have my tea at a little restaurant next to Missy Hayden's studio, and I see dancers come in for their lunch or coffee. Then I get one of the waiters to introduce me, and we talk for a bit. They never know me by anything other than Freddie. One day, the waiter introduced me to two dancers engaged in deep discussion. They are desperately arranging an audition tour. They will audition for every company in the country if need be, for they have determined that one way or the other, they are going to get a job in a ballet company that summer, or else they might just quit. Quit. Oh, it is so hard to be a ballet dancer these days. So many dancers, so few jobs. But it was hard when I was dancing too. Not so many dancers, but almost no jobs. You just had to do whatever you could. I started out as a tap dancer in Paris, yet I never contemplated quitting. It just wasn't an option. Well, a few months later, I head to Tulsa Ballet to stage the ballet La Sylphide and play the role of Madge the Witch, one of those fun female roles so often played by men. Upon my arrival at the airport, the directors of the company, my old friends from the ballet roots, Yasha and Musia, pick me up and take me to their home for dinner. Freddie, I am so glad you could join Yasha and me for dinner. It has been too long. The dancers are so lucky to have you here teaching them La Sylphide. I still remember when you used to play the role of James opposite Danilova. Well, sit. Sit. Let me pour you a glass of wine. I made us a nice big salad and mashed potatoes to go with our coq au vin. Shall we eat? Oh, yes. You know how I love our coq au vin. That and your company is all the inducement needed to bring me to Tulsa. Hear that, Yasha? We didn't need to pay him after all. Oh, Freddie. Tell us what you've been doing. Oh, Musia, I have been having so much fun setting ballets, meeting different dancers. Oh, this is lovely. I just finished staging the ballet, Giselle, for Dance Theatre of Harlem. The dancers are all so eager to learn. It is wonderful. But don't you find dances hard to teach these days? I mean, I try to teach them gaiety and they want to know, what step is this one? And what about that one? It doesn't have a name. Not everything has a name. You have to feel it. It's an emotion. And then they try to hold one another at arm's length to do a waltz step. I tell them, you have to get up close. And they blush. I have one new dancer. I literally have to take her arms and move them for her. Oh, yes. What is her name? Ah, Elizabeth. Still, styles are different now, Musia. They are not used to the movement. They will learn. Soft, soft. Yasha, I'm the one running around getting the dancers to bend enough. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, yes, well, but wasn't it fun those years ago, dancing gaiety? We were so lucky back then. All those ballets, Massines, Folkens, Balanchines when he returned to the fold. Yes, it was fun, but it was better for you than the rest of us. I mean, I still remember when Jack Anderson reviewed the company and he said it should have been called Mademoiselle Danilova and Frederick Franklin and Company. I mean, what about Yasha and me? The rest of us? We didn't count. Oh, Lucia, it wasn't like that at all. We all had good roles. I remember you were a sparkler. Oh, I got that from my mama. She was an emotional firecracker. I never cared what I danced or what the conditions were. I just wanted to dance. As long as I could dance, I could forget the war, the poverty. I could forget my troubles. And I just wanted to dance with you, Yasha. Did I tell you about when I met Yasha, Freddie? Oh, yes, Lucia. Many times. Many times. It was my first day in the company. I had just turned 16. And this great God walks into the studio, all tanned. He was the most gorgeous man I'd ever laid eyes on. I took one look at him and fell madly in love. He didn't stand a chance. I followed him everywhere, and I married him. And then we had the most glorious years of touring South America together. But those years were hard. Remember crossing the ocean that time? You were with us, Freddie. There were cows traveling with us and cockroaches everywhere. You know it had to have been worse in the galley. They had to have gotten mixed up in the food. We had to have been eating them. It was not so easy then. Dancers today do not understand. They have it so easy now. They travel in air-conditioned buses. They go to the hotel to sleep right after a show. We never make them rehearse after a show at all. Remember how it used to be? Oh, yes. The scene would make us rehearse after the performance until the theatre manager would kick us out. And we'd have to continue rehearsing in the hotel lobby until the guests would call the reception desk wanting to know what is all that racket. And we'd get kicked out of there and we'd have to somehow keep finding a place to rehearse because there was no other time. Why, the next morning we'd be up bright and early on the next train to the next city. I remember Messine used to give us a bit of gin to make us feel better. Dancers today do not have a clue. Lucia, maybe that's a good thing. Dancers can just enjoy dancing without all the difficulties we faced. How lucky they are. Oh, Freddie. How are they ever going to know their life is easy if they've never experienced difficulty? I mean, they think sleeping with only one or two other dancers in a room is normal. They think going to the hotel to sleep right after a show and reception is normal. I mean, if they had to live through what we had to live through, they'd probably go on strike rather than thank their lucky stars they're getting to dance. I tell you, I do not understand dances these days. I think they need to know what it felt like when we were dancing. I I could perhaps remind you that when I was young in Poland, we did not have such luxury as free water for bathing. So, should we all go back to that time because I lived it? Still, while I might want to agree with you, Freddie, there is no point because Musia will always win. Remember what Morgan told her when she was 13 and had just gone to New York City to study from him? He said, "You are a little fish now, but one day you will grow up to be a big fish and eat up all the other fish." And I did. Well, the next morning, I go to the studio for the first rehearsal, and I stand in the doorway, watching company class. There's my old friend Yasha, sitting in the director's chair. His head is dropped down. He's fast asleep. The record the dancers are using for warm-up is skipped. One dancer quietly goes to the record player to move the arm, taking care not to wake him. Oh, I must have kept him up too late last night. He's not so young anymore. None of us are. Time does go by, doesn't it? Oh, here's Musia. At this point, she is the eyes, ears, head, and most definitely the mouthpiece of the company, if one is to be honest. You will all wear padded tutus. You need to look like women. Dancers need to look like women. Dancers come here looking like waifs instead of women. Oh, when we were in the Ballet Russe, Markova, talk about women. Those dark eyes, she'd cast them at the men in the company and they'd fall for her. She had to keep away from my Yasha though. He was mad. In the Ballet Russe, we had rules. We have those same rules in Tulsa Ballet. On tour, the lowest ranking members of the company will sit in the back of the bus. So, Elizabeth, Michelle, and where is she? Veronica, you will all sit in the back row. You don't have much to do, so it doesn't matter if there are a few fumes. Dancers also enter the dressing room according to rank in the company. Principals enter first. There's to be no whistling backstage. That's how the tech crew signals to one another. No one is to put their pointe shoes on the dressing room table before a show. It's bad luck. Finally, none of you, I mean none of you, are to wear camisole leotards in rehearsal. Your partners do not want to have to deal with your armpits. Now, there are fines for some infractions. It'll be $5 if we catch you putting your hands on your hips while you're wearing costume. We can't have makeup and sweat on the tutus. And of course, we'll charge you if your pointe shoe ribbons come untied on stage. It's come to my attention that some of you want to be addressed as men and women. Don't see why. We were all called boys and girls when I was dancing. See no reason to change now. Oh my. She does seem to be enjoying this meeting, doesn't she? I don't think the dancers are. Now, girls, you'll have to put your hair up in classicals for the performances. This takes time. If you have fine hair, you're going to have to tease your hair up so it puffs out over your ears. May need to stuff a few extra hair nets in there before putting it in a low bun. It's hard on the hair, but it's the look we want. It's what we did. And we will occasionally weigh you all. Don't expect to horn in. We can't have you go gaining weight. If you gain too much weight, we'll have to take you off the stage. Oh, those days with the ballet russe were fun. You all think I'm old. I know that. But I used to be the bright and sparkly one of the company. One of the 5 American Indian ballerinas, all from Oklahoma. My mother was a Russian dancer, very excitable. My father was a Shawnee Peoria Indian who could be quiet like still water. So I can be both. Oh dear. Not the warmest way to greet dancers, is it? Well, after all of that, Yasha introduces me to the dancer who's to play the mother in La Sylphide. He leads me over to a dancer standing against the wall, all alone. Why, it's a dancer I met in the coffee shop, Elizabeth. Oh, the dance world is so small. She looks a bit beaten. That will never do.
Hey. Hey. All right. And thanks very much for coming to the march tonight. And thank you to all the performers, and have some great holidays. Good night.